Hello, everybody. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Pixel. I'm a Marvel Rebels coach and competitor looking to create some content which can allow you to strengthen, analyze, and develop your games. Here's a few things about myself. I'm a top 500 tank main and support flex. And I've analyzed hundreds of VODs and played thousands of hours of this game to gain a vast knowledge of this game and its fundamentals. It's also my honor that I can provide you with some constructive information on how to develop your game. Today, I want to talk about target priority and scenario-based applications and how you can improve your games with it. Target priority is a very complex and nuanced concept. How do you know who to target and at which times? Very broad, but also objective as well. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, shall we? In general, there are a few major concepts in which determine who you're targeting and why. First, let's talk about roles, in which there are three: tank, DPS, and support. Very simply, each role has its own utility. Knowing what each role is fundamentally supposed to do is a very key factor in knowing who to target. Tanks attract attention and control space. DPS create pressure and are the main damage dealers of the team. And supports, well, they do everything. But seriously, they sustain the team and give very specific utility depending on which character you choose. So, who is the most valuable target? Is it the tank in your face holding the shield up? Is it the DPS on an off angle hitting you like a truck? Or is it the support pumping heals into your team? The answer: all of them. Contrary to popular belief, there is no definitive order in which who to target. The correct way to target properly is actually through situational awareness. So, how do you gain situational awareness? The answer? Just play the game. But I'm gonna make it easier for you. So today, we're going to be talking about specific scenarios and applications in which you will learn how to target priority properly. So, with roles in mind, the way in which you target characters heavily depends on the concept of team compositions. Team comps are a fundamental trait of hero-based shooters. Within Marvel Rivals, there are three specific ways in which comps prioritize their targets optimally. First, there's front to back, when you go from the front line and progressively go into the back line in that order, starting with tanks, DPS, and then supports. Common characters in this role are Emma Frost, Thing, Dino Dinosaur, Wolverine, and Loki, all of which have percentile damage or vast amounts of damage or healing output. This comps creates a position in which the tank role is the highest priority role to target. Then there's dive, which all of you may know, is when you target the backline to disable the backbone of the team, allowing it to fall apart from the back forwards. Common characters in this role consist of Venom, Daredevil, Black Cat, and Jeff. This creates a comp in which the supports and squishy DPS are the primary targets. And then there's Hybrid, which you'll usually see in comp or pubs, a mix of characters that don't really fit the same playstyle. Front to back characters, dive characters, and characters who really fit both archetypes are combined into the same team. Common characters who don't really fit the front to back playstyle but can also fit the dive, but also help with the front line, are Captain America, Phoenix, and Star-Lord. With Hybrid, there's no real specific role to target. Instead, it relies heavily on scenario-based targeting. The first scenario-based targeting I would like to talk about is the idea of targeting based on space or the non-contested parts of the map. In these clips, I will demonstrate how to effectively dive characters even if you're not running a full 6-man dive comp. As a diver, it is very important that you should be learning how to dive the furthest character from the enemy team. While doing this, you give the enemy an ultimatum. Either don't turn around and let the character fend off the dive themselves, or you force multiple characters to divert their attention from the front line. The space created from this action should be identified from any frontline character, allowing them to isolate the opposing frontline. All of this is done by targeting one specific character. It's also important to contextualize that diving this way may not give you the most kills, especially for solo diving. But unless you're able to sustain that dive and secure a pick, you might not be getting the most value out of that character. Low HP targeting is the next scenario-based targeting I will be talking about. This form of targeting is very important no matter what comp you run. If you see a character with very low HP, it is important to attempt to secure the kill. However, it is important to not greed for the kill. Many times, people, myself included, will isolate themselves or place themselves in horrible positions in order to chase after a low HP target. How about this? I'll give you a rule. Never put yourself into the enemy team unless you have an escape option ready and planned. An example would be saving valuable cooldowns like Venom Swing or Daredevil Block in order to escape with your cooldowns. Another way is pathing yourself so that when you get the kill, you can go to a health pack or go right to your team if they're not too far away. But if you are able to see the character within your range during a fight, killing them should take the highest priority no matter what team comp you are running. Situationally targeting based on ultimate usage is very important. Similar to low HP targeting, targeting based on ultimates is important and mandatory no matter what comp you run. When you hear an ultimate, let's say a Star-Lord ult, you're expected to target them because they are the biggest threat to your team. Even in an example of a support ult, where characters are not likely to die, in both scenarios, you should be properly communicating to your team to kill whoever is using their ultimate. The damage from multiple characters can allow you to kill through any ult, whether it be support or DPS. If the ult poses too much of a threat, or your killing through isn't an option, the next best thing to do is to kite it, or move out of the way of the ultimate. The last situationally based targeting I'll be talking about is targeting based off of their vulnerability. When a character is out of position or forcibly crowd controlled, i.e. Emma Grab, Dino Grab, Wolverine Kidnap, Strange Ult, or Invis Pull, when a character is pushed into your team, it is the responsibility of the entire team within that area to target the out of position character. If not targeted properly, characters lose valuable cooldowns and give enemy supports a more ultimate charge. Another aspect of vulnerable targeting is the vulnerable debuff within the game. Cloak and Dagger and the Thing have the ability to increase the amount of damage that an afflicted character takes. If you are able to damage those characters without sacrificing your life, it is essential that you target them. This is true for most debuffs within the game. The Grounded effect, the Earthbound effect, the Reduced Healing effect, stuns, and other effects. Overall, target priority is not blindly shooting the tank, diving the supports, or chasing every low HP enemy. It is about reading the situation and deciding who gives your team the most value if they are pressured or eliminated. Whether it's a vulnerable target, an ulting enemy, a low HP player, or someone isolated from their team, good targeting comes from awareness and discipline. If you can recognize these moments consistently, you will create more space, secure more kills, and make better teamfight decisions. This video is focused on the tank and DPS roles mostly, so if you like a support-centric video, please let me know in the comments. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, feel free to join my community on Discord. The link is in the description below. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe for more Marvel Rivals content. Also, if you're interested in my coaching services, please feel free to message me on my social media accounts and Discord, all of which are also in the description below. Thank you, and have a nice day!